Welcome back. I am your host, Josh Vago. We have a recurring guest back with me on this beautiful morning. Callum Robinson, you know who he is. Founder, Young Gunz, one of the best youth male development programs, if not the best in the world. He's got a team of 527 people working underneath him. And I think it's grown to that point. Every time I do the intro, it grows by 100 people, Cal. But Cal is one of my favorite people in the world. And the reason why I brought him in this morning is we're going to talk about lifestyle, and we're going to talk about why you need to build a business that gives you the actual life that you want, and how do you reverse engineer that process. Now, Cal and I are both guys that have done this for ourselves, and I will throw it out there. I'll just start us off on a really spicy note, Cal, because most of the world doesn't know this, but we're recording this end of 2021. Cal's going to be coming over to Bali with Coach Chris and Coach Josh, and he's going to hang out with us for a little bit. So, Cal, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for myself, selfishly, to hang out with you. But we've built businesses that allow us to live this amazing life. So I want to just open it up to you, man. I'm looking forward to you coming to Bali, and let's share something with the people listening today.
Dude, that was like a secret, man. You just like blew the top off my secret.
I know, it's a big deal. If you're listening to this right now, you've got some really backdoor, under the basement information. Like, you might think this is a real cartel, because that information has not been released to the world until right now.
I'm a pretty mysterious dude, bro. That's how I like to keep it. But anyway, like, yeah, you've heard it from Josh himself. I'm going over. And like, the reason I'm going over, there's a lot of positive reasons as well. But like, if we look at like the world star right now, it's pretty crazy to be able to think that we can just do that. Like, you know, if you got a job or you're stuck in the PT route or like whatever you're doing currently right now, it's like you don't have those opportunities for yourself, your family, or whatever. So creating them is pretty cool as well. With more like specificity to your question, Josh, like, do you just want to know about freedom of lifestyle or what I've done to be able to set this up, or like what's the jam?
I want to start with you, man. Like, I want to give a little bit of insight as to where you were maybe 4 or 5 years ago when you and I really started this stuff kind of together, where you're at now. And I want you to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, and then we can start giving some more teaching with reverse engineering, how to help these people build the business and life that they want. But I want to hear about you, because you're freaking awesome, and I don't think we talk enough about how great you are.
Thanks, bro. So I think, like, anyway, I was the solopreneur dude, you know, if you want to call it that. PT, started the first online venture models, and everything was solo. And I think, like, I'll just fast forward. We don't need to hear about the first clients, the 10 clients, I saw jazz. Like, I think we're talking a bit bigger picture today as well. But I remember like a conversation I had with Chris years ago, and because I was really happy, I floated around like that 60, 70 grand a year mark, like online coaching and face-to-face and whatnot. And I was always happy with that, because I was like, Chris, I'm like, dude, I'm a young dude. It gives me heaps of cash to be able to travel where I wanted back then, when life was so much more travelable, etc. And I'd never had really vision to create what was real freedom, if that's so to speak. Like, you know, I think there's different levels of freedom when it comes to like lifestyle factors. Like, you got number one, which is like, yeah, you work for yourself. You know, you don't have a boss, you don't answer to anyone. Like, that's really cool. And then from there, it's like, you actually realize like time freedom's huge. And when you start getting a taste of like being able to do more of the things you want when you want, like, it's kind of scary, you know, and you realize it's something you got to really hold on to. So I guess my first thing was like, I wanted freedom to grow my business more as well. First of all, that sounds really silly, but you know, how do you get freedom to grow your business more? I.e., get out of the roles that were so time sucking, so I could actually look at the bigger picture stuff, like when it comes to financially, training sales teams, training coaching teams, getting DFY things and projects done in your program as well. So like, there's freedom to do that. And now it's kind of led me to a point as well now where like, I made a decision around about, I'd say 6 months ago, when I was like, no, fuck it. I'm going to like really push this and scale Young Gunz to be as big as possible. Like, that's still my goal at the moment. But one thing I've really learned about freedom, Josh, and like setting up lifestyle factors as well, is I probably haven't even talked to you about this, but this is one revelation I had, is like the cash flow, like difference from say jumping from like 10 grand a month to like, you know, the mid and high 30s now is like net wise. Yeah, there's a bit of difference, but the actual cash collect that I take and use really isn't that much different. And you're like, what? Like, you got a business that's around 350, 400,000 a year currently. And it's like, how are you only like netting whatever that looks like? And I'm like, that's not entirely true, but like,
it's not what you would think. Yeah,
it's not what you think. Obviously, a lot of cash flow goes to business and accounts, whatnot, and blah blah blah, and we invest a lot and whatnot. But the point is, like, with that, my thing is with this is like freedom of business really come down to the fact of like, wow, like I could have people and standard operating procedures and systems in my business which cost money, like it costs to employ whatnot, but ultimately gives me back time. So it's like, one of the decisions I make, especially when it comes to like, reverse engineering, which we're about reverse engineering a lifestyle, is I wanted something that I could like predictably, systematically grow, pay team members. I actually enjoy paying a team, by the way. I'm not one of those business owners that's like, profit margins, 98%, like let's pay our team members like peanuts. Like, I'm actually not about, I actually really enjoy paying my team members and seeing a life, like creating a life they love as well. And so with this, my lifestyle factor was like, wow, like I can literally get down to like working on a couple of hours a week and still feel just as good about my legacy, the impact we're doing, the growth of our program, and have amazing team members that like enjoy doing what they do daily. So I just end up paying for more time, like essentially. Like, so reverse engineering lifestyle factor is like the lifestyle I wanted to live was that if something popped up, if I wanted to go somewhere, I had the ability to do that, and I wasn't the breaking piece inside of my coaching business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, bro, I am loving this. So here's the situation. I want to reiterate what you just said, because there's a lot of coaches out there listening today that found us because they're just getting started and they haven't been able to go through the repetitions and have these life and business experiences to have clarity on a lot of this stuff. So I want to slow down just for a second here. Determine what your values are. In other words, if values is a big word and freaks you out, just determine what's important to you. What I just took away from what Cal just told me is the fact that Cal values time more than money. Because in the ability to create more time, he is actually going to end up creating more money in the business.
Yeah, facts.
Cal could take home an extra couple grand per month. I just realized how good my haircut looks when I was looking at myself here in the reflection. We're also live on Facebook, by the way, Cal.
I'll see.
My God, I'm really happy with what he did yesterday at the barbershop. Anyway, sorry, this is a one-take show. This is what you signed up for. This is a one-take live. But the reality is, dude, you could take home an extra couple grand per month that couple you grand.
Would extra 10 grand if I took the coaching,
if not more.
Yeah.
Like at that point, why even have a team? And you could just be a one-man band and make 16 grand per month and take all that home and be at that level. And that's okay if you do want to be at that level. But the reality is, Cal determined that he really values his time and he values waking up and rolling out of bed and going to get his coffee and banana bread. And so he set up the business in such a way that he was not willing to waver or be flimsy with his values. If you don't know Cal is pretty stubborn. And that is very much so what got him to this level. And I suggest to everyone at home, be a little more stubborn about your values and say, no, this is what I want. I want to work X amount of hours per week. I want to live at X, Y, Z location. I want to have this amount of team members doing these tasks. And because my team members are doing these tasks, I get to focus on these one or two projects that I really love doing. So Cal, can you just speak to that for a second, man? Because you have made really good decisions over the years and I've watched you make those decisions. Can you confirm that you kind of knew what you wanted from the beginning and you were unwilling to compromise that?
Dude, I was so unwilling to compromise things. Like, I was even so unwilling to compromise certain things that actually slowed down the growth of my business. Like, which is like, sounds dumb. And I kind of recognize it's dumb as well. Like, one example, man, is like, I hated organic content. I hated it. I hated producing it. I hated shooting it. I understood the importance of it, but I hated it. And you know that. In fact, like, yes. I was raving about the other day, like we did a $2,500 sale organically the other day. And I was like, dude, this is the craziest thing ever. Look at me go. When the coach is like, coach, they do it in the first fucking week. But you know, like, and so my point with this was like, I was so stubborn in certain things around what values I wanted to and how I wanted to spend my time. Like, I didn't want to waste my time shooting organic content, showing up. Like, I wanted to create ads, spend money in ads, and grow through ads. And that's what I've done, and that's what I still do. Effectively. So there's like one stubborn process there as well. And I was very stubborn with the type of person I wanted to work with. And in fact, and from that, I fluked that. I fluked that. I seriously think I fluked that just through stubbornness. I didn't want to work with mums or ladies or old dudes or fathers. I wanted to work with young dudes. I wanted to work with a very specific type of people with a very hard market that don't have the money. I had to figure out a way how to get the money, but I was that stubborn that that's the only type of client I want to work with. Which now, how about it? 2.5 years later, everyone's talking about, Grand Slam offers and niching down and marketing, blah, blah, and I stumbled across it. But the point being is like the stubbornness led me to do certain executables, but kept my eye focused as well. How much simplicity did it keep me with Josh? I didn't have other things to distract me because I was like, nah, this is it. It's the one thing I want to do. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I love this because you can't really move in a direction if you're also simultaneously moving in a different direction than the original direction you set out to. I think that's why I see a lot of the coaches doing the one step forward, one step backwards, gaining a client on the front end, but losing them on the back end because of improper retention systems. It's why people get stuck in that couple grand per month range, but never get to the next level. Like, this is the stuff you have to have set up. I think there is an element of this to where there's a really valid question that I want to just throw out there to the people listening that you just alluded to, which is, what are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to get rid of? I'll go on this little tangent here and maybe we can wrap up. I would love for everyone to take home a couple things that Cal said and also this piece. What are you willing to get rid of? Is it when you're determining who your market is, who your niche is, you feel that level of FOMO that you're going to say no to a type of client? And that creates a little bit of scarcity because if I only work with young dudes, that means I'm not working with everyone else.
Everyone.
If you're weird with money and you got a weird relationship with money, are you willing to let go of a little bit of money to get a virtual assistant so they can help with the back end social media management and lead generation and having DM conversations? For a long time, I wasn't, which is why I was stuck at $5,000 per month. Chris, literally real life example here. My coach, Chris, looked at me. He goes, dude, you're going to grow when you realize you can't do this yourself. And he said it to me like that, and it punched me in the face. And I was not offended because I knew he was correct. So guess what? I got a virtual assistant. I went to 10 leads per month to 40 leads per month and cut my time working in half. Nothing in my business changed other than I got a team member, but I was not able to get that team member until I put some chips on the table in the form of money. So what are you willing to let go of? I think it's a really valuable question to ask because Cal has let go of basically everything other than his path.
And I think as well is one thing I never let go of as well is my ability to lead. So any system, it's not about just employing someone or saving time, whatever. It's about setting procedures up right. So when that person comes on, they can effectively do stuff within your same vision or path. Every single one of my team members has an amazing belief system in what we do. And I'm happy for them to be in their role because of how it's been set up, And look, yeah, we're going to, and we can predictably grow week by week, week by week, week by week, week by week. In fact, I think we're 31 clients off of hitting our 45K month marks, our $500,000 a year MRR establishment. That's not just cash collector, that's monthly recurring revenue. So we're so close to the brink of this, Josh, and the fact that we've been able to systemize something that continues to pay my time back and we can continue to grow this thing as a machine. I don't know, I think it's just a bit of more of a meta thinking about what more is your freedom look like and what does the lifestyle you want look like? Because it's not necessarily just about, I know for me, fancy dinners, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, couldn't give a shit about any of that, dude. I'll wear my Kmart shirts daily, dude, and be able to kick it with banana bread and watch Legacy as well. So I think to wrap this up today is get super clear as a coach as well of what is it you actually want to do? If you don't have an anchor point of what your lifestyle looks like, you'll just chase and squabble around markets and money and systems, and your business will look schmozzle. Just get hyper clear on what it is you actually want in your life, and then reverse engineer it from there.
Brilliant. All right, dude, I love this. I can't wait to be doing this with you in person, live here in Bali, man. Thanks for jumping on, and I look forward to doing this again with you.
No problem, dude. See you in 5 weeks.
Let's go.